Hey guys, it's Bill with Jersey Trails. Today I'm going on the Batona from Route 72 up to Ongs Hat. You'll see me in my bright orange. It is fall in New Jersey. You have to wear orange if you're in the woods. Don't take a chance. I know that hunters are supposed to be a certain distance from the trail, but you can't always rely on that. Mistakes are made, so make sure you are safe. If you're going to start on this section of trail, you're going to look for the intersection of Route 72 and a dirt road named Suey Place Road. That's S-O-O-Y, Suey Place Road. Right at the crossing there's a nice little mailbox as you're heading north that's got Batona trail maps. If you don't have a map already, grab one. If there's none there, you might want to check at the Brendan Byrne camp office or the park office. All right, we should be doing about 11-12 miles this section. Shouldn't be too bad. Weather's nice. Late November, Saturday after Thanksgiving. All right, should be a good trip. All right, we're about a mile into the trail now. According to the mile marker I just passed, we're probably going to have a total trip of about 9.5 miles or so. Just keep in mind, yes, it's always good to have the trail map. That'll help keep you on trail, but the mileage listings on the map don't always match the actual trail marker miles. It's because of additions and reroutes and that sort of thing to the Batona. The map isn't always 100% accurate on distance, so just keep that in mind. I learned that the hard way when I was doing my through hike back in June. I went from, in one day, I went from the Brendan T. Byrne camp all the way down to Lower Forge camp. That should have been maybe about 16 miles according to the map. It ended up more like 18, and I was really feeling it. So just something to keep in mind. Now, as you can see, there are lots of leaves down. You get a nice viewing distance. When I was here in June, everything was green and lush, but I'll tell you what, the fall is a completely different animal. And you see a lot further, see a lot more of what's around you, which is good. So you got to keep an eye out for those orange hats and gear of the hunters. I've already heard a few shotgun blasts off in the distance, nothing nearby. But one of the other things that's great about fall is look at how nice and open and easy to hike on this trail it is. We've got all these nice soft pine needles below our feet. It is glorious. It feels good. The trees, even though it's all pines and the oaks that are around are leafless, still protects you from that cool breeze. And when you get a nice little patch of sun, oh, it feels good. It's probably about 45 degrees now. It's supposed to get up to around 55, 56. Maybe we'll even be lucky and hit 60. We'll see. But the trail is glorious in this section. It is really, really nice and clear and an absolute pleasure to be on. And I'll tell you what, this section of the trail is not the most scenic, and then there's not a whole lot of variety. But as you can see, it's very well maintained, and it is an absolute pleasure to hike on it. It's nice and close to home. Only took me about a half hour to get out here, and I just love it. It's nice and long. It's remote enough that you don't have a whole lot of people on it, at least not yet today. When we dropped my car off at Ongs Hat, there were probably 4 or 5 cars already parked there, so maybe I'll be seeing some people headed southbound as I'm heading northbound. We'll see. I don't mind sharing a trail here and there. All right, just past a mile on the trail, and we reach what is probably the highlight of our day. That's Packham Pond. I'm at one end. We've got a couple cabins. You can see little docks out there. Nice tiny little cabins. Set up for 4 people or so to sleep in. Not bad. We did stay in one a few months ago. It was very nice. Batona continues up and around the backside of Packham Pond, and off in the distance there we will be crossing between 2 different pieces of it. I'll give you a quick little view when I get up that way. Real nice. This is the view of Packham Pond from the western end. Just glorious this morning. Ah, loving it. Turn around. Got a nice little section of this end too, which is quite scenic. See some birds flying in out in the distance. Well, according to that quack, those are ducks. About a mile and a half in, off Route 72, Batona joins the Red Trail, which happens to be handicapped accessible, which I think is just amazing. I think that's great. So it's like hard paved, or maybe just really, really hard packed here. But the fact that someone in a wheelchair can get out and enjoy nature, and enjoy the beauty of this state forest is one of the greatest things we can do. The more people we get out, the more people who learn to appreciate all these natural wonders that we have, this glory that we have, the better it is for all of us. The more land will be preserved and appreciated. That's what we need. Get that word out. Love it. Now, one of the best things about hiking in the fall, besides this really nice ground cover on the trail, which is like walking on a mattress of leaves, is the fact that there's really no flying insects this time of year. We got nice weather, it's moderate, mid-50s I'd say, and nothing flying around my face, no gnats, no mosquitoes, nothing like that. But something that you really, really have to keep in mind is even if there's nothing flying around your face, ticks are still active. You have to worry about them unless you're out and it's below freezing. If it's not below freezing, ticks are still out, they'll bite you. You don't want to mess with Lyme disease. There's no reason to. Just spray down. Always use the bug spray, even if you don't think you're going to need it. At the very least, spray your pants. You know, get down in your socks. Anywhere that those little suckers want to climb up between the layers of clothing and bite you. Don't risk it. It's not worth it. Always make sure you got bug spray with you, even if you don't think you're going to need it. Spray down. You might not need to cover your entire body and bathe in it like you do in the spring and summer, but you still got to take precautions. You got to be careful. Don't risk it. Well, I'm about 2.5 miles into the hike now. Now we're going through this really nice section of cedars. It's always so pretty. I love the cedars. Fell into a love affair with them when I did my through hike of the Batona back in June. Everywhere else was hot and sweaty, but when I saw cedars off in the distance, I knew I was going to be able to catch a little cool breeze. It's almost like walking into an air-conditioned store off the hot street. Ah, so refreshing. And today, it's cool everywhere, but they're just so damn pretty. And you don't see them as often, so when I do, I try to enjoy it. All right. Just crossed the road leading into Brendan Byrne Forest Office. And this little section's a little tricky because as you can see, there's not a lot of undergrowth. So it's not always obvious where the path is. But fortunately for us, we've got a great group of people maintaining the trail. Thanks to you guys. You're not going to get lost in this section. They have been very, very good about making sure that there are plenty of blazes through this section. So there's not really much question. All you have to do is, if you get turned around a little bit, just go back to where the last blaze you saw. And if you just check around carefully, you're going to see more. Fortunately, something that could have ended up a little bit dangerous for a lot of people becomes much more enjoyable than it could have been. Nobody wants to spend a night out in the woods if they're not prepared for it. No one wants to get backtracked and get lost. So as you can see, they've been really good about placing lots of blazes through here. There's really not much question. I hesitated for a moment. I stopped, I looked around, boom, blaze, boom, another blaze. Awesome job, guys. Thank you. All right, 5 3/4 miles in up from Route 72. Just crossed over Route 70. Now keep in mind, anytime you're crossing a road, yeah, technically pedestrians have the right of way, but at the same time, that's when you're in a crosswalk. Be cautious, wait until it's clear, be careful, don't make anybody have to slow down for you or avoid you, don't make anybody swerve, you don't want to cause an accident, and you certainly don't want to get hurt. Just be careful out there. About 6 miles in now. Past a nice little neighborhood, walked along a paved road for just maybe 100 feet or so, crossed over that. Now this section here, not too many pine trees, mostly broadleaf, so there's a lot of sun in this section. Pretty nice. You wouldn't really know that it was the end of November, almost into December now, less than a week. Pretty nice. Trail's still really nice and wide, nice and soft. I like the soft trails. Can't really complain about that at all. Making good time. Only got maybe 2.5, 3 miles at most left back to get to the parking lot. What a beautiful day. This little section here is pretty nice. Got a little bit of texture and some little ups and downs. Nothing major. Just enough to make it interesting. Some nice big cedars over at this end. Nice little low spot. Looks like we got a little water over there. And so far, Batona's just following along. Look at this. We got a little ups and downs, little whoop-de-doos. Look at this. Just enough to make it interesting. Fun times. All right, just past mile mark at 50.5, and I'm into this neat little section. Tiny little pine trees, skinny little stems, pretty much. Their trunks are almost nothing, but it just looks really neat. I love it when a trail gives you a little variety, mixes things up, and I mean, there's only so much you can do in the Pine Barrens, but when they worked on the Batona Trail, they definitely tried to make things interesting. Just got done with all the ups and downs, walked on a little dirt road for a few feet, and then through that. Pretty neat. Not too much farther now, only about 2 miles or so, and we'll be back to the car. I'm in the home stretch now. I think it's only like 0.7. Pretty sure that's what I saw as I was dropping off the car at Ongs Hat. Looks like we're gonna go through a little stand of cedar up there. Looks nice. Let's see. Lots of crunching with all these fallen leaves. So there's pretty much no chance of me seeing any deer today. Between hunting season and me making such a racket, there's really been no wildlife to see. I've only crossed paths so far with one other person. He was out on a short walk with his dogs. Other than that, I have been completely alone. The only other humans I've seen since I started the trip are people in cars driving by on the few road crossings I've made. Other than that, very, very peaceful day. It's a nice day. It's a weekend, it's a Saturday. I would have really expected more people, but I guess as it's starting to get cooler, there's going to be fewer and fewer people out here. But I'll tell you what, I'm glad I'm out, because it has been such a beautiful day. how good the day of hiking is. It's always so nice to get back to the car and head back to civilization. Yeah, I'll probably start planning my next hike tomorrow after my exhaustion has passed. Did about 10 miles today. Not bad. Absolutely beautiful weather. Couldn't ask for more. I'm at Ongs now. If you want an easy way to find it, you head to the 7072 circle. Take Magnolia Road from the circle. You're going to head up about a mile, maybe 2 miles. Keep an eye out on the right. You're going to look for a low brown sign with white lettering. Brendan T. Byrne State Forest. Batona parking area. I'll post a picture. There's a log cabin across the street. It's one of the first buildings you come to on Magnolia after you've passed the circle. Nice and easy. Well, enjoy.